Hello everyone, this is Dinesh. In today's session, let's discuss about what is SAP in simple plain English. So I'll try to explain what is SAP, how SAP is useful for the end customers without any jargons. Let's try to keep it as simple as possible. Okay, so what is SAP? SAP is one of the major ERP provider in the world and it stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. Let me just put it over here. Systems, applications, and products in data processing, right? So one thing I would like to note here is we should call every time as SAP. We should not call it as SAP because especially whenever you call it as SAP in a SAP environment or someone who is aware of SAP, then they will easily identify you as someone who comes from a non-SAP background, right? So you should always keep it in your mind that it should be called it as SAP and not as a SAP. It is actually not a word in English, rather it is an acronym. So I just thought of highlighting it because many people I know who still call it as SAP. So just keep that one in the mind. And also coming back to the topic about what is SAP, I actually gone through few videos in YouTube and also read few blogs as well. So whenever I go through about like introductions to SAP, they always talk about when SAP was started or how many IBM engineers were part of SAP founding team or how many employees SAP has, how many markets they serve, the number of customers, partners, and so on and so on. See, these are metrics. I don't think this may add any value in the current scenario. You can get this metrics anyway from Wikipedia or anywhere, right? So rather than this, let's try to understand how SAP is used by the customers and how it simplifies the overall activities that happens inside a company. Right, so some may call SAP as an advanced Excel. In some terms, I would say it is true as well. SAP is more like it captures all the data and information from multiple sources in a company, right? And then it provides some intelligent recommendations. So I think it's enough of speaking and going through the theoretical way. Let's go through an example and understand how SAP is really helpful for the customers, right? So let's take an example of a company that manufactures smartphones. Let it be any company, so let's not assume it as Samsung or Apple. So there's a company that manufactures smartphones, that's it. So let's keep the company name as X. So company X will have multiple departments that needs to work seamlessly to manufacture quality smartphones, right? So it involves procurement team. I'll just write it down. Procurement team to procure the required raw materials from the external vendors, and then production team to assemble the raw materials and then produce the finished products, warehousing team to store and manage the products, and then sales team to get the orders to and sell the finished products to the end consumers, and then quality team to check the quality of the product that has been received from your external vendors, and then HR team to manage the overall human resources available in your company, and then finance team to oversee the overall cost and spends happening in the company from both customer side, vendor side, within your company, the human resource side, admin cost. There are so many costs that happens, right? So finance is a centralized team that manages the overall activities that is related to money and cost, spends, revenue, profit, everything. And then the last one is the admin team to make sure the people are having a safe conditions to work inside a factory or even the premises. So these are all the list of departments that would be required for any given manufacturing. I mean, let it be any company, right? So these are all the bare minimum departments that would be required. So what I am going to do is, so let's draw the outlet of the company and understand how each activities can be tracked using SAP and how it provides a single source of truth for all the stakeholders involved in this process. So let's draw it. Let me just draw the outlet of the company, something like this. Thick outside borders. And then I'll consider this place as the procurement team. So I'm just, trying to capture all the departments in the company. And then let's assume this as production team, where the actual production happens. So this is where all your missions, everything is going to be placed. And let's assume this as your warehousing team, where all the products post-production is going to be placed, and also the products with the raw materials, whatever that comes from your, you know, uh, uh, vendors that be placed over here. And then let's consider something like this as your quality team that is going to check all your product quality, whether is it within the tolerance limit, everything. And then let's assume this as your finance team. Yeah, and then let's assume this as your HR team, who is going to take care of all the human resources. And this is the sales team. So if you see here, let me just put few more things over here. Okay, shapes. Okay, I'll take this. So sales team is going to interact with customers, right? The end customers. And then the procurement team is going to interact with your suppliers. Suppliers or vendors, whoever is going to supply you the raw materials, right? So let's take one example and understand how the whole thing is going to work, right? So let's assume sales has got an order to manufacture 100 smartphones. Okay, so they have got an order for to manufacture hundred smartphones. I'm just continuing the same example. So what will happen is sales will get an order, and then sales will communicate the same to the production team to manufacture 100 smartphones. So what will happen here is, let's put it as communication 1 is between sales to production. So what sales is going to tell to production is, hey, I got an order for 100 smartphones from one of the major customer, and I need to produce this 100 smartphones in another 5 days or 10 days or whatever, as per the customer requirement. So sales is going to communicate to the production. So what production will do is, the second set of communication is between production to warehouse department. What production will inform warehouses, hey, we got requirement for 100 smartphones, and these are all the raw materials that is required to produce those 100 smartphones. So please send those list of raw materials to the production shop floor or the production manufacturing place where we are going to manufacture. So that is the communication from production to warehouse, right? I'll just drag this. Here we have a few more communications. So what warehouse will do is, warehouse will go into the warehouse and see what are all the products that has been available in house. So say for example, production team sending out like they need 50 raw materials that is required to produce 100 finished products. So warehouse has gone through the warehousing setup, and they understood that out of 50 requested raw materials, they have only 40 has been in place. So there is a shortage of 10 products, 10 raw materials, I would say. So what warehouse will do is, warehouse will inform procurement team saying that we have one order for 100 smartphones, and that requires these raw materials, and we are having a shortage of this raw materials. So what procurement will do is, procurement will inform to the supplier requesting for those raw materials. Okay, so like I need 10 quantities of raw material 1, 20 quantities of raw material 2, 25 quantities of raw material 3, and so on. They will raise a purchase order. So let's not get into those things. They will request the suppliers to supply around 10 raw materials, whatever has been shortage in the warehouse. Supplier will go through the requirement and they will supply to the warehousing. So okay, so this is the request you have raised. So these are all the raw materials. So you have it. So what warehouse will do is warehouse will stock all the raw materials and they will send whatever has been requested to the production. So production is, so if you remember, production is the one who has requested warehouse. So warehouse has got the required raw materials now. So it will send it to the production area. So production will happen. So production department will produce 100 smartphones as per the order, and then they will inform sales team that it has been produced. So actually, before informing sales, there is one more step, but let's not make it complicated since it is a simple example. So in reality, production will send it to the transportation department, and transportation department will will share it with the end customer. But here, let's keep it simple. So production to sales, and then sales will send the product to customer. So better, we'll make it as transportation because I haven't identified the transportation department initially. But let it be transportation, right? And then it didn't end. So I mean, this loop is ended. So sales has received order from customer, and now the finished product has been sent to the customer. So there are two more steps in a simple process, I would say. The two more steps is, one major step is here the procurement has bought some product from suppliers, right? So procurement needs to inform finance that they have bought these many products from the supplier, and the finance team needs to pay the money to the supplier, whoever has sent the product. So this is what in SAP or in simple finance they call it as accounts payable, right? That is one more. There are a few more communications. So there are many communications. I'm just keeping a simple workflow, but even for a simple workflow, you're going to get these many communications. This is kind of everyday happenings in any manufacturing industry or any company, I would say. And then there is one more communication like sales to finance. What sales will say is, hey, finance team, I sold 100 smartphones to this customer. So please get the money from this customer. Say like, this is the X company, I have sold this many 100 smartphones. So you can raise the invoice and then you can send it to the customer and you can get the payment, right? So that we call it as finance accounts receivable. So, I mean, this is a very general things which they use it in finance terms. I'm just trying to keep it as simple, right? So, this is the whole ecosystem that happens in any company. So, and then there are other communications like salary to employees, right? The HR team needs to identify how many people have check into the company, how many are leave on any particular day. So that is one type of activity, and then based on that they need to come up with the salary to employees. And then there are so many other items, but let's delete this. So if you see here, there are easily, even for the simplest of processes, I could see there are 12 communications are happening, right? Again, this is a simple example where there is only one order, only one customer, and the procurement team is dealing with only one supplier to supply the products and so on. But in reality, right? In reality, the scene is completely different, right? Each and every company who deals with thousands of orders every day, communicating with at least hundreds of suppliers, working across locations with multiple offices, multiple manufacturing plants, and that's where it is going to get complicated. It is, I would say, it is near to impossible to manage everything over a phone or through emails or using a simple Excel like this. It will get cumbersome. It is going to get cumbersome, right? So this is where softwares like SAP is going to help you in managing everything in order. So in simple terms, SAP is a single centralized platform that is used by each and every department of a company. You see here, each and every department of the company to record their data to provide a single source of truth across the company, right? So every company is going to use SAP and they are going to record their data using SAP. So in this example, it's considered like from a procurement team, whenever they buy raw materials, they don't want to inform the finance team. Rather, in SAP, it will automatically trigger one message to finance team saying that these products are purchased by the procurement team for this customer order, and this is the vendor, and this is the amount that needs to be paid, and that too within 30 days or within 7 days or within 40 days, 45 days, as per the payment terms with the supplier. That's again, that's gonna come from the SAP where the master data is stored. It's just one example. Likewise, there are more than thousands of scenarios where SAP would simplify the work, and all the activities are very transparent across the company. That's the most important thing about SAP. It's about transparency. It's about single source of truth. It's about uniqueness of collecting data across the seamless communication between departments. So that's the USP of SAP. So yeah, I think this is for now. So this video is all about what is SAP and what it can do in a company and why SAP is one of the most important software in the world right now. We'll discuss more about SAP, its functional and technical modules. So functional modules like SD, FICO, PP in the coming classes, and also about what is SAP S4 HANA, who is the successor of SAP ECC, what is Rise with SAP, what is Grow with SAP. So all these are very new concepts, the implementation methodology like Activate methodology, and so on in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you.